Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Aretha and today I feel fantastic. I feel energized about all the things that are happening. I am excited about all my projects. I'm very hopeful about where I'm going. I feel great, but I am recovering from a brief period of overwhelm. And now that I'm on the other side of it, I figured it would be a good idea to make a video about overwhelm and how to deal with it. So what is overwhelm and how does it show up? I know I'm overwhelmed when I have so much to do, but I can't get going on anything. And that's because all the things in my mind feel equally important and I cannot prioritize or come up with a plan to start working on them. And I used to think that I was overwhelmed simply because of the number of things I was putting on my to-do list. But that's not true. I think I've learned that overwhelm has nothing to do with the stuff outside of me. It has to do with how my mind feels. Because there are times when I have a lot going on and I feel energized. I thrive on that. I'm excited about all the things I get to do. I feed off of the energy of being busy. So what's the difference between that and when I feel overwhelmed? I think the main difference is that when I'm energized, my mind is clear. I know what I need to do next. I'm excited. There's a plan. And then when I feel overwhelmed, it's because I don't have a plan. And I feel like I'm at capacity. When my brain is very noisy, when there's stuff coming from every direction, and I don't process the stuff, and I just keep it in there, and then more things try to enter my mind, that's when I feel overwhelmed because I think I'm at capacity for processing. And that makes me think of something I read in Getting Things Done. And I don't think this is a direct quote, but there was a sentence in there about how you should use your brain for processing, not for storage. And that stuck with me because I do tend to hold a lot of things in my brain and I don't have any more bandwidth to process additional information. That was a nice reframe for me, that it's not the stuff, it's the state of my mind when I have to do the stuff. So let's talk about what I do to kind of recover from overwhelm. It's a process to get out of it and slowly get back to yourself. The very first thing I do when I realize that I'm overwhelmed is that I give myself a timeout. So I stop doing all the things. If I was reading a book, put the book down. If I was scrolling on my phone, put the phone down. If I was reading email, I shut down my computer. If I was listening to something, I'd turn it off. Basically, I hit the reset button. I give my ears and my eyes a break. Just a minute of doing nothing. Bonus points, close your eyes. Just shut down all stimulus and just give yourself a minute to reset. My next step is to get out of my head and into my body as quickly as I can. Depending on how athletic you are, you can do some jumping jacks, you could do push-ups, you could go for a quick walk. That's actually my favorite way to do that. I love to go outside and walk with my dog, Sasha. She is a great partner. She doesn't ask any questions, and it's perfect. There's something about being outside in the elements, feeling the wind, the sun, seeing some trees that helps me reset much faster. Then I go back to my desk and I try to manage my inputs. I know it's really tempting when you're feeling overwhelmed to start scrolling or watch something on YouTube or turn something on to distract yourself. But I don't think that when you're overwhelmed, your brain has the capacity to process this additional information. It's just more noise in the background. I make it a point to stop taking in new inputs. I need to handle what I already have on my plate. I cannot really process additional information. So what I do is I look at all my tabs that are open. Usually there's an article or two that I'm thinking, I need to read that at some point. What I do is then I bookmark it and I close it. Close the tabs, close all the extra tabs. You need to cut down on how much input you're getting. If I had a YouTube window open, I was watching some videos, I saved them to my watch later. Close that. If I was listening to a podcast, I'll save it to listen to it later. Whatever it is, do it later when you're in a better position to actually understand it and absorb it. So manage your inputs and reduce temporarily the amount of information you are receiving. And once I have cut down on all the inputs, then I do a brain dump. I like to start with a blank sheet of paper If there's something else written on a notepad and I try to brain dump, it doesn't work because I get distracted by the other stuff I wrote. Just write down everything that is buzzing through your mind, all the things you think you need to do, all the thoughts you're thinking randomly, but they keep coming back. Just write everything out. Once it's on paper, it's so much easier to weed through. There's something about being able to just cross it off, just scratch it out, that feels very therapeutic. It feels really good. So brain dump everything, put everything on paper, and then go through the list. You will find that some of the things on that list are so stupid when you see them. You're like, why am I thinking this? Just scratch it out. Just eliminate it. So go through the list, clean it out, remove all the stuff that is not helping you, it's not actionable, it's not within your control. Sometimes you think things and then you write them down and you're like, I can't believe I was thinking that. Just cross it all out. You don't need to carry that in your brain. Get rid of it. So then you should be down to a list of things that are actually actionable, actually important to you, and then you can sit down and prioritize. And then you'll feel like you have an action plan. The next step is to actually do the number one priority on the list that you've identified. And you just sit down and do the one thing. And there's like a chain reaction thing that happens. Once you accomplish the very first thing, then you kind of get the ball rolling and you're excited to move on to the next thing, and you kind of start gaining some momentum. And that usually is when I feel like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel and I'm on my way out of overwhelm. Hopefully these tips were helpful to you. As always, take what resonates with you, leave the rest. Overwhelm is something we can all learn to work through. If you find this content relatable, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.